Welcome back here to Fox 51 today as we continue our unofficial wedding month here on this broadcast. Still not over. June, a very popular month to get married. We know there's a lot of East Texas weddings
and this may be
out
one of the most important things.
You're right, and it can be very stressful trying to plan your own wedding. That's where the experts come in. Esther Yeager joins us here. Esther, a pleasure to have you here on our broadcast.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me your story. You were telling me in the break quickly about how you kind of got started in wedding planning. You've always been a part of special events in some capacity for several years.
Yes, for over about 20 years I've been in planning special events. I started in conferences and workshops at a university and then took some time off to have some children, and now I've started my business up again here in Tyler, and so I've been in business for about 2 years.
Oh, great. What are some of the key things that you can help a bride with? We know it can be so stressful when you're getting married. What are some of the things you specialize in when helping a bride get her wedding together?
Oh gosh, there's so much, but I think the key thing is, you know, planning a wedding will take over 400 hours for somebody to plan a wedding on their own if they're having to research vendors and starting from very scratch. And what I come in do, and I can refer them to qualified vendors that are very service oriented, and I detail for them and organize them. They're so relieved as soon as I give them their timeline so that they know everything that has to be done, the date it needs to be completed by, and I just walk them through the entire process. And I do a lot of the footwork and putting things together for them so that it's not a stressful process and they get to enjoy the event rather than having to worry about it so much.
You're right. That's a key role you play as well. And I know the day of, a wedding planner can be extremely important too. When the day of, when that ceremony is taking place, you're working very long hours. I know on the day of, tell us some of the things you specialize in on the actual day.
Oh, sure. You know, the most stressful part, I think, that I still, makes me, I have to think 2 or 3 times about is the ceremony, because it's very organized. It has to be timed perfectly. And so somebody who just comes in who doesn't have any experience with that, there are a lot of places where it's not going to run as smoothly as it can. And so a day of coordinator is so helpful to run through the ceremony, to navigate all of the people and the guests that are there, and to just make it so that it flows flawlessly.
Right. What about for people, I know there's a lot of people, I have friends that, have gotten married and they think they can't afford a wedding planner. What would you say to them, and how that you could work with someone on a budget?
I would say that wedding planners usually pay for themselves. On the average, a wedding planner will save a bride and their family 10%, and that usually covers the cost of what a wedding planner is. Plus you get the benefit of somebody who plans the event for you and is there all day long. I always like to refer to it as, my husband is an obstetrician gynecologist, and people say to us, did he deliver your children? And I say, oh no, he's the dad. Right. And it's the same thing, the mother of the bride needs to be the mother of the bride, not the planner. And so it's that same analogy.
How far in advance, Esther, do you normally recommend your clients coming to you to begin this process? We know some brides like to be engaged for a couple of years, maybe some only have 6 months. Is there a recommended time, though, you usually give them to come to you to start planning the wedding?
Well, I know I've done a wedding in as short as 2 months, and then I also, most people like to go from anywhere from 6 to 9 months is ideal. But further along, a year to a year and a half is really great, because then you can get exactly what you're wanting. The venues you want, the florist you want, you can find exactly what you want.
And I think, you have that special relationship with the vendors. You act as the middleman between the bride and the vendors. You can negotiate deals, I'm sure, and really eliminate the stress, which I think, as you said, Esther, is the most important thing in wedding planning. I know this is probably a busy summer for you, but if maybe there's some newly engaged couples out there and they would like to get your services, is there a contact number or an email they can contact you with to get more information?
My website is up, of course, and it's planiteventstyler.com. And then, of course, my phone number is always available on my website, and contact information also.
Perfect. Esther, what a pleasure, and thanks for coming by our broadcast.
Having me.
We appreciate it so much.